Infiniti finally refreshed the dinosaur. We have the 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph in white with semi-aniline leather upholstery for all three rows, increase in horsepower, increase in torque, 3 to 4 decimals quieter than the prior gen, one of the best in class with performance. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to give 3 reasons why you may want to consider the refresh, as well as some pros and cons, and throw in a problem that I have comparing this against the competition. With the refresh, it starts off with a more dominant grille that integrates into the piano key LED daytime runnings and LED headlights that are steering response, front and rear parking sensors with a 360-degree reverse camera with 2 different levels of advanced driving assist. You have the Pro Pilot Assist 1.1, which is on the Pure and the Luxe. The Sensory and the Autograph get the 2.1. The standard one will have a combined of intelligent cruise control with steering assist that will help you stay in the lane. And the 2.1, you can actually release your hands and the vehicle will stay straight through the lanes. And if you are kind of going off the lanes, it'll push you right back into place. But what's housed underneath the hood? That has changed the whole configuration of the dinosaur. It used to be a V8 that was naturally aspirated, which was bulletproof. But the first reason why I would choose this, 50 more horsepower, 103 pound-feet of torque more out of the 3.5-liter V6 twin turbo. That's producing 450 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. So it's not just aesthetics. It's not just a suspension. They have the best in class for horsepower and torque, towing up to 8,500 pounds, which is also class leading, and you get 10% better fuel economy with this twin turbo, which is achieving 16 mpgs for the city, 19 mpgs to the highway. Now, the big problem that I have is the configuration. You can only really option about 7 different colors. Front rear-wheel drive configuration can only be optioned on the Pure and the Luxe. So if you're wanting features, you can't option them anymore. You have to go up the tier, which will give us these 22-inch wheels. These are unique to the Autograph. Sensory and the Luxe can also get a 22-inch wheel with a standard 21-inch wheel, deployable door handles, 2-tone, because we have the Autograph. So you're gonna have the Obsidian Black, Autograph print, electronically controlled suspension, standard running boards, because it makes it a little bit easier to get inside. Now, going into competition, Infiniti has outclassed Lexus, Acura, and Genesis, because most of their variants is not going to be as long as this and as powerful as this. You go into the TX and it's going to be similar to this. Go into the GX, you're going to be spending a lot more money to get all the features that's encased here, which puts it on par with Lincoln, Cadillac, and taking it to the next level, going against Germans like BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. And I know people are going to say you can't really compete against them. This is class leading in horsepower, torque, and payload, but then on the con, you don't have any rear axle steering. You don't have any soft closed doors. When you're at $112-ish thousand, these are a few things that I feel Infiniti neglected to give us. 300 plus LEDs for the rear tail lights that will mimic piano keys that also reflect the styling of the front grille. The lower will have the exhaust look that bulges out. Spare tire is still tucked underneath. I mean, for me, I think Infiniti has went that extra step that they're needing. There is a few things that they missed, but they gave us so much more of a package. Usually when you get a refresh nowadays, you're just getting aesthetics. That's not the case with Infiniti. Power liftgate standard on all trims, going into 22 cubic feet of storage behind the 3rd row with a home plug with some bag holders here on both sides. You can lower and raise the suspension just by simply pushing the button here in the back. So it can make it easier for any type of loading. Underneath the floor does not receive a lot of storage, unfortunately. To fold the 3rd row to get 59 cubic feet, you have to just push the buttons here. Now it's on one side, left and right. It'll fold at a 60-40 split electronically. Do the same thing for the captain seats in the 2nd row to maximize cargo to 101 cubic feet of storage. It does fold down flat, but it takes a little bit longer. That's typical for a 100 grand car. The key fob to the refresh QX80. Deployable handles, Going into 14-way power seat adjustment for the front, heated, ventilated, climate control seats, massage seats, 24 speakers through Klipsch sound system, memory for the driver and passenger. And now you can see the reworked design. Flat dashboard, heads-up display. Let's fire it up. Dual 14.3-inch screens with wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Trying to get you to the map so that way you can see the pinch, the swipe, how intuitive it is with Google Play, Google Assist, Amazon Alexa. Interior lighting, you have 64 different colors for the ambient lighting, which is cool. The configuration, look at this. You can change it by the seasons. And a dash cam, which is in the Autograph only. You can see the front and the rear. You can take a picture, you can flip it around, look at the interior. Now, I know this is not like an Uber vehicle or a taxi. How you doing? But it's nice to have this configuration, especially if you are doing any type of carpooling, anything like that. Put it into reverse, 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can zoom in for all of those different angles. It also has the 3D view now, which we never had this before. It's awesome. I like this. I wish that this was in the QX60, but they do not give you the same interface. The hood view, which will show no hood, but everything around you going into another digital reader. It can go through an array of different content for the driver, and you can also change out the layout to make it more dynamic or to make it more enhanced. Side here is a touchpad, so you can brighten everything. Leather wrap steering wheel, heated, multi-functionality, which means when you click this button here, now you're on to the infotainment screen. You can see how it's rolling around. Shifts, and when you go into the sensory in the Autograph, you have autopilot 2.1 instead of 1.1. You'll still have some buttons here for the hands-free, which will also have steering intervision, which basically will keep you more or less in the lanes. Gloss black will run into the Infiniti badging, and this is a aluminum mesh that's laser cut with a 9-inch touchscreen on the bottom. It has haptic feel, which means when you push it, you'll hear that noise. And push to put it into gear, not a big fan of that. You can also raise and lower the suspension. Kind of an area for storage on both sides, but you do have a full pass-through with a 12-volt. I wish it was a little bit more large, maybe a little bit more deep here. Wireless charging pad standard, 2 USB ports, cup holders, and a cool box is only on the Autograph, and you'll still have some storage right in here. With a dual panel moonroof that goes into the second row, leg space is not going to be an issue. They're more than generous, as well as headroom and door panel dashboard configuration. I like the way everything goes into each other. Glossy black is everywhere. Kind of a con on that because it just leaves fingerprints everywhere. You can see it here in the lighting. I like that they have the perforated or the dotted semi-aniline leather throughout the interior, one touch up and down for all the windows, with a long storage pocket beverage holder carved out. For the second row, check out the opening that you have. No manual or power sunshades. You get the dotted interior coming into play, soft to touch, glossy black yet again, with the 22 speakers that's coming into play into the door panel. About the same size storage pocket, just a little bit less here. You have the steps, suede headliner, and a touchpad for the back seat, which is awesome because it's not only climate control, ventilated, heated seats, you also have 10-way power seats as well as massage seats. Taking me to the second reason why I would option this, massage seats that no one has. It still gets the Autograph print. It still has the aniline leather as well as biometrical seats for the second row as well as the first row. No vehicle is doing this now. Look at the headroom that you have. It's almost 20% more leg room than the prior. Third climate control setting. USB ports, 12 volt. I would have liked to see a home plug, but you do get some more storage here, cup holders here, and a storage box that goes deep with 2 more USB ports. So storage is taken care of, as well as charging ports going into the second row. Push and hold this button. You'll hear a beep and it'll move forward. And that's the opening that you have to fit 3 more in the back. And when you go autograph, this is still dotted semi-aniline leather. USB ports, heated third row, as well as power seat adjustment. Let me adjust this so that way I can actually sit back here. Headroom isn't the greatest, but we can recline back, so it makes it a little bit better. Space, I will be sharing quite a bit. There isn't any armrests here, unfortunately. We're gonna slide in the center. Feet space will be shared, but not so much. This bulges out just a touch. Butt, leg, and shoulder space, it's actually pretty good for the third row. Headroom, with it reclined, I can sit without any issue. With it upright, unfortunately, it's not as comfortable. 450 horsepower with 516 pound-feet of torque. When you're thinking about a BMW X7 M60i, that would be comparable to this. That's about $120, give or take. And that's gonna have 553 pound-feet of torque. That's what I mean by motivation. Now I know that is a V8, this is a V6 twin turbo, but look at the motivation that you get. It's quick, it's smooth, it's quiet. 3 to 4 decimals quieter than the prior. More smooth. The suspension will alter depending on driving conditions for better aerodynamics, for better driving feel. I mean, overall, this is a vehicle that has went full stop updated. And because it's so big, I purposely just wanted to go forward, just to show you what it is. And sadly, the person didn't even turn into this lane, which is typically what happens. So I got to speed up to get into the other lane in front of him. Now to look at the maneuverability. Not an issue. It does feel long and wide, but even the prior gen did, which typically when you're in this size of a vehicle, you kind of know what you're getting. Still smooth, 22-inch wheels. I like what I'm getting. It's gonna take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, which you've heard a ton of them, but there's still a few more. The Dinosaur took forever to come. Class leading in horsepower, torque, and towing capabilities and payload. It's more quiet, it's more refined, it's more tech driven. Massage seats in the first and second row, yes, you gotta go to the autograph to get it. But in the same category, 4 trims to choose from, it kind of makes it easier to tick the box to the right trim, if you know what I mean. The cons, no rear axle steering, no soft closed doors, no power or manual sunshades for the second or third row, no home plugs that's found throughout the interior. And the massage seats only massage your back. It's not gonna be quite as good as the Germans, where they massage your butt and your back combined. I'm gonna stop in the middle of the road, give her full gas, let's rock and roll. It's gonna feel a little bit heavy whenever you're mashing on the gas. When you mash on the brake, kind of the same thing, but this is a yacht on wheels that's very luxurious, so you're getting a touch of the performance. No Red Sport 400, but dang man, the horsepower and torque, it is pretty insane that you're getting that much of an increase, as well as that much of an increase when it comes to suspension technology in the interior. Everything has just been tweaked to put it to another level. But then on the cons, the deployable door handles, they make a lot of noise whenever they deploy or go in. The suspension itself adjusts quite a bit whenever you are parking the vehicle or getting on and off the interstate. In the headrest, I kind of wish that they had kind of like a pillow cushion like Mercedes has, or even BMW is offering it now, because the speakers in the headrest, I mean, it's a very Cadillac, I just not a huge fan of it. I would prefer the 22 speakers and 1200 watts spread throughout the vehicle differently, so that way I can enjoy more of the comfort aesthetics that they have implemented. Because when you go Autograph, you also get zero gravity seats, which no vehicle does this at all. They work with NASA, in which you don't need cushion extensions. Your knees are not going to be sitting in the air. With zero gravity seats, it's exactly what it is. So you don't have any pressure points on your back, your thighs, or your legs. Taking me to the final reason why I would option this, not only are you getting biometrical seating for the first and second row, heated seats for all 3 rows, more power, more economical, but it's still the least in class in pricing considering all of those topics in which I have hit. But the problem that I have with the QX80 is they still have a lot of aesthetics that are plastic and right in front of you, in which they do such a good job cleaning up the interior opposed to everybody in its class. But then in the center, it's the hardest part of the vehicle, whether you're in the first or second row. Glossy black elements, that's everywhere. And I feel that they should have offered a V8 variant just so they would have a little bit more performance, even though they have enhanced the performance so much with this twin turbo engine. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Infiniti Clearwater for giving us this 2025 Infiniti QX80 Autograph for our car review.